Good morning. I hope that you are well, that your family and everybody you care about is doing well physically, emotionally, mentally in these challenging times. Would you believe that it's halfway through the year? I mean, it just struck me that it's June and it's almost mid-June. That's halfway through the year. And many people will tell you that the first half of this year has been an absolute write-off. Businesses are flailing, economies are under pressure, schools definitely a mess, and of course socially, not to mention my area of interest, the schools. So what would happen if tomorrow some miracle occurred and everything went back to normal? Tomorrow you were able to operate business in the normal way. You could import, there was travel, no restrictions, the kids were back at school, there was no issue of social distancing or age restrictions on who could be in what kind of an environment. If everything went back to normal tomorrow, I imagine everybody would be really, really happy. And I highly doubt that anybody would turn around and say, oh, do me a favor, half of this year has already been written off. There's no point in trying to make a run out of the second half of the year. Nobody would say that. Everybody would be pulling at the bit and rushing to compensate, not only to make sure that the second half of the year is still functional, we would run and push and do everything in our power to compensate for the losses of the first part of the year. Because nobody says half a year is a write-off necessarily indicates how the rest of the year has to be. So why do we do that in life? How come it is in life that very often people will say, not at my stage. I'm too old for that. I'm too far gone. I don't, there's so many things that I've become habituated. I know that they're not healthy. I know that they're not spiritually good for me or physically good for me. But this is me. This is how I've always been. It's unrealistic if you think that I'm actually going to change at this point in time. I'm over the hill. Interesting. We should maybe take a leaf out of the book of the coronavirus and say everybody knows that the minute we have the opportunity to catch up and the minute we have the opportunity to reconnect, we're going to take it, or at least I hope we're going to take it. We have that opportunity every single day of our lives. We have so many people in Jewish history who illustrated that to us. I mean, Moses only started his career at the age of 80. The famous Rabbi Akiva was illiterate by the age of 40. And there are numerous other examples that all really carry one theme. There's no such thing as too late. There's no such thing as, well, the lion's share of this period of time has been used inappropriately, so therefore we can't catch up. In no other area of life would we ever say that, except when it comes to our own personal development. So maybe that's a good thing for us to think about, especially now that we've got a little bit of a slower pace and maybe more time on our hands, or certainly are in a more introspective space. What a wonderful opportunity we have, even if it's just another day, certainly if it's another year, certainly if it's another decade, to really turn ourselves into success stories, not just in the business world, on a personal level. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe and stay sane.